Hello, and welcome to the most extreme podcast in professional wrestling to date. This is Extreme Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, as always, Ryan Arnold. Jeffrey will be joining us shortly, but we had some sad news in terms of our team, as unfortunately, James could not be here anymore. He said he had to leave. We wish him well in all his future endeavors and all that stuff. So yeah, we wanted to start us off. Just like I said, Jeffrey will be joining us shortly. I just figured I started exactly at 7, so we're all good and all that. Anyway, a lot has happened since we've done an episode. It's been about, 2 months? It feels been like 2 months. But anyway, yes, there's a lot we got to catch up on. Obviously, as I'm kind of going on, I'll add a little bit here at the beginning. Royal Rumble happened. The results as far as concerned, both obviously Drew, Sasha, and I believe Roman Reigns all retained their titles. The only title match that actually had a title change was the women's tag team title match, where Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax defeated Charlotte Flair and the Raw Women's Champion Asuka on the kickoff show, the pre-show, to become two-time women's tag team champions. And as far as the men's and women's Royal Rumbles are concerned, is obviously Bianca Belair won the women's Royal Rumble match, and Edge, for the second time, won the men's Royal Rumble match. The first time he did it was in 2010, where he came out later in the night. What did I think? Obviously, I won't try and go as much as I can carry this for whatever reason. I thought the show was good. I was paying attention to what was going on. Well, not too much. I was a little bit busy with what happened. That was happening last week. Yeah. I think that's what happened. From what I heard and seen, I enjoyed it. There were some spots that I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Some surprises when it comes to the Royal Rumbles. Carlito returned. Christian returned. Hurricane, obviously, he always comes in for Royal Rumbles. Comedy relief. I believe obviously the men started off with Edge and Randy Orton. Randy Orton got injured, and was outside the ring for a bit until the very end, where I believe at the very end it was, well, obviously Edge, Seth Rollins, who returned in the men's as well. Well, and we'll be back on SmackDown. Back on SmackDown this coming week. But if I'm trying to remember, but yeah, at the end it ended up being Edge and Orton who had to fake an injury comeback. He came back in, RKO'd Edge, and was about to eliminate him, but Edge faked him, eliminated him, and won the Royal Rumble for a second time. Had Randy done that, he would have joined Stone Cold Steve Austin and been a three-time winner. But focusing ahead, obviously, to the women's. I believe the last 3, as far as I'm aware, were Charlotte, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca. Obviously, Rhea, and I believe Bianca eliminated Charlotte, and then Bianca eliminated Rhea Ripley. But yeah, I'm just trying to go as much as I can before my partner comes in. So let me see if he's ready to join in. If he's going to join, hopefully. So I figure I wanted to start it early. So we have to wait on him. Apparently, yep. It's been like I said, there's gonna catch up. So I'm just waiting on him to waiting on him to join. Is he even? Jesus. Yeah, obviously there'll be some cooling down time. So waiting on him to join. So bear with me. I'm trying to remember what else happened. Let's see. Did TLC? Oh yeah, TLC did also happen. I'm trying to remember what happened in that night. Let's see. I went to TLC. Oh yes, the Firefly Inferno match. Was that in December? I believe. Yeah, that was. Yeah. I think it was. Wait. Yeah, I think it was. There was only maybe a handful of significant matches at the TLC pay-per-view. Obviously, the Firefly Inferno match. I believe Randy won the match. We haven't seen The Fiend or Bray since then, but there has been some interesting stuff going on. Which will be very interesting. Considering the fact that it's been a while since we've seen The Fiend. But like I said, I'm just waiting on my other co-host to join. Okay. Should be here shortly. Hopefully. Waiting on him. Apologies for starting early, but I figured I'd start early. There's a little bit of water left in that. Yeah. But whew, I'm in need of a haircut for once. Oh boy. Hopefully we're waiting on him. There's gonna be some downtime. Like I said, just waiting on him because it's a little bit. I can't remember much when it comes down to everything else. It's been 10 minutes now. I try to remember what else has happened. But I do remember TLC. Was it I think it was TLC. Or that might have been early December or something like that. I can't remember. During the TLC, I believe that did happen. I'm trying to remember what the match is. Aside from the pipeline for the match, I think the women's tag team titles were defended, and that was where Charlotte and Asuka won them. And obviously, like I said, they just lost them. Here we go. There he is. Oh, wow. Nice setup, dude.
Thank you. My sisters.
Oh, what are you eating?
Taco hell.
Oh, I hear staticky.
Oh, do you?
It just sounds like you sound like a robot a little bit. Maybe try and fixing it a little bit.
Hold up. It was. Let me see here.
Still sounding like a robot.
Hold on, give me a second.
Okay, it's getting a little better.
Yeah, I was also being quiet too, but.
Oh boy. Maybe leave and maybe try and fix it, leave and then rejoin. That might work.
Yeah, hold on. Let me see if this works too. Yeah, can you hear me still? Hold on. Probably not.
Like I said, we're having technical difficulties here.
Give me a second. There we go. How about now?
Oh boy.
That any better?
Oh, let me try and see if I can find something. Yeah. Maybe it's on me. Or something.
Maybe. Where's my cat?
Try leaving and then rejoining.
Okay.
That might work.
Give me a second.
Well, leaving the stream and then coming back in. I'll see if we can see if that will fix it.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out how to even leave this on here. Ooh.
Yeah, like I said, we're apparently he's having technical difficulties. But once he tries to figure that out, we'll see what we can get him back in. Don't I have one? Where did that? See if you'll figure it out. So we might have to wait a little bit longer again. See if we can fix it. Fix this thing. Fix this stuff. And then we can get back to business as usual. And let's see if this time.
How's that go?
Does it work?
I don't know. I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. So it's working a little bit better.
Yeah.
A little bit better.
I turned up the mic level a little bit.
It's definitely getting better.
You know what? It could also be interference from my other headphones too.
Oh God. Do you have any other headphones that might work?
Not ones that have a mic built in.
Perfect. Now. Perfect. All right. Well, I mentioned earlier James is no longer with us.
Yeah, he didn't die.
No, he did die. He said he had to take care of some personal stuff.
Yeah, which is
So,
understandable. It's
hopefully-
completely fine.
Yeah, if he comes back, we'll welcome back with open arms. But I
Right.
just mentioned Royal Rumble.
Okay.
Obviously, I said the results were obviously Drew retained, Sasha retained, Roman retained, Nia Jax and Shayna regained the women's tag team titles, becoming 2-time champs.
Okay.
And then Bianca Belair and Edge winning the men's and women's Royal Rumble matches.
Yeah, it was great.
What are your thoughts on the pay-per-view itself and the matches?
I thought the pay-per-view was pretty good. I still don't understand why they even put matches on the pre-show. Really, still, but I mean, I do get why. But like,
wasn't that the only one on the pre-show?
the tag,
titles?
yeah. And they did title change, which doesn't happen too often on the pre-show either.
Yeah,
which was pretty cool.
Yeah,
but
I didn't watch it. I was following along with it and stuff, seeing someone else's watching it, reaction to what was going on, and everybody, because Daniel Bryan had been doing promos and thinking to myself, and everybody was thinking, "Oh, Bryan's gonna win the Rumble."
Yeah, but Shinsuke also did that one promo last week too. Really dope.
Like, okay, it may not be Daniel Bryan, but Edge winning it is still equally awesome.
Right, no, for sure. I remember when he came back last year, I was like, I want you to win. I just want you to win. I just want you to win now. And so I was ready for him to win this year last year.
You may have had to wait a year for him to win it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If memory serves me right, he's only one of, if I'm trying to remember, only 5 that I can think of. Ones that come off the top of my mind are, obviously, he is only, well, I forgot, 5 people who only won it as one of the first 2 entrants. The others that I come to mind are Shawn Michaels,
Stone Cold,
Rey Mysterio, Chris Benoit.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to remember who else won it from the first 2 positions.
Benoit won it from that too. Wow.
Oh yeah, Mr. McMahon. Mr. McMahon won it from the number 2 position.
Wasn't that for the belt too?
He was a former winner. I'm trying to remember who else won from 1 or 2. Was it just those 4? Oh yeah, Edge now. Edge makes it 5, and he only won it for the second time in his career. Obviously, the last time he won it was in 2010.
My gosh, it's like 11 years ago.
That's a decade. You basically only had to wait a year for him to win it all.
But also goes to show just how like big of a deal he can still be even 11 years later, you know?
Yeah, I look and it made me thinking of seeing what freaking like Edge is the definition of what Goldberg said. He is kind of a mega superstar. I remember seeing, I guess we could talk about that. Goldberg said some comments about I think it was on a podcast with Corey Graves, and he mentioned mega superstars that are bigger than life. It's hard for this generation seemingly to build those people. When it comes to this generation, there's only a handful that I can think of. Drew is one of them, Roman Reigns is the other, and maybe Seth Rollins. There's really not many that are. Daniel Bryan too, to some extent.
Well, maybe Becky too.
Oh yeah, Becky. Yeah, it's hard, and it's kind of hard in this generation, basically. I wouldn't say, I don't know about Charlotte. She's already a big superstar and stuff, but she isn't really a mega superstar. She's not bigger than life.
She didn't have as much crossover into other things.
Becky is kind of the mega superstar.
Sasha on her way too.
Roman Reigns, freaking Seth Rollins, those guys are mega superstars that are basically bigger than life. The Fiend, to an extent, is kind of a mega superstar. He is larger than life, basically. He's a big deal.
I remember he was over like Rover when he first came in, man.
And they didn't know what to do with it. Basically, they put the title on him. For just...
No, I'm talking about when he was just the Swamp Guy Bray Wyatt too.
Yeah, but he really got over with the Fiend gimmick, basically.
Man, I still don't know what they're doing with it.
But would you agree with what Goldberg said about those comments and stuff? Basically, he was kind of in the agreement with Taker, my idol. I love Taker, and I agreed with what Taker said. You know, that this basically Taker said that this generation is soft.
Wouldn't call it that. Is in fact, I think they actually work harder, if anything, in this generation. However, they don't have. They have what? Like not like. I'm trying to do math. I'm not gonna be able to do math. Either way, back in the hot days of the Attitude Era, how many people were watching? 10, 11 million people every episode. How many are watching now? The most 2. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to be on that superstar status because not nearly as many people are watching them like that. So that's not their fault at all. You know, that's also, well, I wouldn't say it's 100% their fault, but it's like, it also attributes to like the way that, you know, they're booked like that too. You know what I'm saying? If you don't, like, the only person who's been able to actually truly hold a superstar status probably in the last like 5-10 years within the WWE is Brock.
Yeah, I mean, Brock, Roman Reigns in some stages, he is kind of, you did mention 5 years, Roman Reigns was being
he's getting that treatment. He's getting that proper treatment now. But before, they were trying to make him the guy. They were trying to make him the next John Cena.
It wasn't until, like, say, he beat John Cena.
And that's another thing, too.
Somewhere around that time, that's where he really started to click. You know?
That's another thing, too, is like, I feel like they try to make everybody a superstar by doing the John Cena thing. You know what I'm saying? They just try to, like, overmarket them into this thing. And obviously, and that's another thing, too. Is, you know, this product's more catered to kids as well. And so, and that's not as, like, part of the appeal of, like, wrestling back in the day was, like, the fact that it was a little taboo. You know what I'm saying? Like, and nowadays, it's not necessarily taboo, but it's still looked at as, like, you know, not a real thing. Meanwhile, we're actually doing this while the Super Bowl's on, so we're covering a real sport right now.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I've been looking at that and stuff, and seeing the score and all that. And I'm a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. Have been for quite some time.
I'm surprised you even wanted to. You were even willing to do this today, then.
Yeah, I was willing because it's been what, 2 months since we've done one.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah, I figured, you know what? It's been 2 months. Why don't we do another episode of another podcast? But yeah, I think I'm like, but I can agree that there's only, like I said, there's only a handful of people, and basically you look at some of those guys. It's not like what the Taker even said that they're all playing video games and that the Takers.
First of all, that's a little bit of the old timer not understanding what people do for fun when they have nothing to do. You know what I'm saying? Like instead of sitting there getting all whacked out on painkillers and, you know, having a closet drinking habit or anything like that, they're entertaining themselves by playing a video game. Oh, boo-hoo.
Yeah, it's also a different
environment
sometimes. You know, it's like it's the mindset of that time is like, because wrestling, the kayfabe wasn't broken back then.
That's another thing too.
They had to carry some of that stuff because, you know, they can't be themselves outside of their gimmicks. Because you know, guys like, you know, $1 Million Man, Ric Flair, you know, some of those guys, they had to have weapons like that. Hell, even Honky Tonk Man or something like that, they had to have
Jake the Snake
weapons on them because they don't want to get mobbed by people, you know, that are threatening them. Because back then, people treated that like, this is real to me, damn it. Basically.
Yeah, and then if you ever told them otherwise, they would have to basically beat you up just to protect the integrity of it too. Like, oh, you gonna call this? Is this fake? That famous Vader thing.
Yeah, whatever it is, you know. But you realize that, and due to the time, there wasn't the internet at the time when they were doing all that stuff.
Not really.
Nowadays, kind of Attitude Era, the internet was around at that kind of, but it was in its infancy.
There was definitely like some very early forms of dirt sheets, but only the early days of the 4chan goers probably know of that.
Really,
so.
I think to myself, I really didn't know about. I knew about this kind of stuff, the dirt sheets and stuff, late. Like, I would say maybe 2014, somewhere around there. And then really, wrestling wasn't really, kayfabe hadn't been broken in my mind at that point. But it really started to, you know, the kayfabe did come into play around maybe say 2014, sometime building up to SummerSlam or something like that, and then hearing that the main event could end up being freaking Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar at Mania
Mhm.
31, and thinking to myself, okay, and then Daniel Bryan coming back and stuff. Okay, I think though I had said to myself that those two were going to be the final two, but I
Yeah.
knew for some reason Roman Reigns was going to win it. I really
Yeah.
wasn't surprised by the outcome. 'Cause
No, I wasn't
knew
either.
Roman was going to win it.
We all kind of did. You're talking about the Universal Championship match, right?
No, that was when they only had one world title at the time in 2015.
Oh, okay. So we're still talking. Okay, we're still talking about 2015. Okay.
Yeah, that's when I was hearing about the whole kayfabe thing. But yeah, I kind of almost agree that sometimes with the kayfabe thing, but I agree with what Taker said. You know,
I do to a
there's
point.
only, like I said, there's only a handful of guys that have that tough guy mentality.
I do agree to a point that like people like there probably is too many people. Well, I don't even think he even said this directly, but plenty of people have said this in the past before that too many people are like complacent. Probably there. You know what I'm saying? They're not necessarily trying to shoot for the moon when they kind of all should be in a weird way. But at the same time, they've also been told and trained to know your role, jabroni. So, so like, what do you do? You know, you don't want to walk on eggshells and like act out of term. At the same time, breaking that barrier is how you break out. You know, look what.
Yeah, exactly.
The only reason why I wouldn't say the only reason, one of the big reasons why Becky got over when like the whole man character happened, everything like that, is because somebody rocked her in the face for real, made her bleed, and she was still tearing through the place and acting like a badass, and that made everybody go. You know what I'm saying?
And
like
it's usually a moment where they click. Sometimes Becky was starting to get a little bit of.
Which they do actually have the slight benefit.
She had momentum going with that whole man gimmick, the man Becky Lynch gimmick before that, but she really got over with the people when she had her nose broken up.
And the SmackDown invasion. It was great.
That's where she freaking ascended.
Mm-hmm.
I think when it comes to Drew McIntyre, he got super over by eliminating Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm. But they were also like, I think once they started kind of thrusting him into like the face, like the baby face role, everyone's like, this is what we should have gotten straight out of NXT, to be honest. But yeah.
Yeah, I
think this is what they were expecting when Drew first came.
This is the Drew we wanted.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want him freaking being this stupid gimmick thing. He should have at least. I get that he's trying
3MB.
And you see his
I have a guitar shirt on too.
I saw his promos back when he came back on Raw and teaming up with Ziggler. Oh my God, he should have won
the Dogs of War.
He should have won the Royal Rumble. He's like, I don't know what you're thinking, people. Why isn't this guy winning the Royal Rumble? This guy's got the looks. He can cut a badass promo.
I'm so surprised they've been able to keep him and Andrade away from each other this entire time.
I don't know.
Isn't that odd?
That surprised me.
They really liked recreating every single NXT rivalry when they bring them up, and for some reason they didn't touch that one. They haven't really touched Sammy and Shinsuke really at all either.
Yeah, they really.
Which they could do that soon, actually. But
I'd love obviously Shinsuke. I would love to see him. He'd be some. Let's get into something. Speculations over, obviously, who will Edge face at WrestleMania.
I tell you what I do want before we get there. I want him and Christian facing the Usos.
If Jimmy,
that's what I want.
Is it Jimmy? Yeah, if Jimmy is healed up,
I think he's ready.
See that.
I think he's ready to go.
But I
think it depends more on Christian.
Who would Edge choose? There's obviously Drew McIntyre.
Should be Roman.
I'd love that, but seeing the prospect of him, I know it sounds stupid, but
it should be Roman, and Roman should win.
The prospect of winning the NXT title, which is obviously a title he's never won.
Mm-hmm.
Just the whole thought of that, just having a bunch of dream matches. These guys, some of these guys I've mentioned are already over in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
But Edge versus Gargano, obviously.
I think that'd be much more effective if that's something that Daniel Bryan did, because he's almost kind of doing that right now on SmackDown. Why not just do that? Just do that, but just take it to the whole, like take it to the people who are actually coming up still. You know what I'm saying? Like, go be an NXT champion. I think that'd be better for Daniel Bryan, not Edge
But just the thought of some of those matches,
or Cesaro.
him versus Gargano, or hell, Edge and Beth Phoenix versus Gargano and the Lray of the Way. You know, that would be freaking cool.
That would be really, really
Edge
good.
versus
I would love
Edge,
that.
Edge versus Ciampa. Edge versus Adam Cole, baby.
Hey,
And how about the person that beats Edge? I say someone established someone as a mega superstar.
Karrion Kross.
Exactly. Had Karrion, because that
Karrion Kross eat him.
That interaction I saw,
It was nice.
I want that match. I know Edge is gonna lose that, but I want that match.
TikTok.
I want to see that match. But I think there are other names I didn't really mention. Him versus Balor, obviously, for the title. Him versus Pete Dunne would be really awesome.
Oof.
Him versus Kyle O'Reilly would be really cool too.
Yeah, where's another Canadian at?
Is there any other Canadians there? I think the only Canadians that I can think of is the Everrise guys. They're the only.
Oh
ones
yeah.
That's a tag team. I'm like, they're not really over. Ooh, Edge versus Dexter Lumis would be a cool match.
That'd be interesting. He Montana boy, I think.
Yeah,
Wyoming
that
or
would
something.
Be really, really cool. There's so many options to who Edge
Yeah.
can face. Edge versus Theory. Edge versus Austin Theory would be. I know that would be like,
I think we still want to see I think we want to see Austin Theory and Randy Orton go at it, just so they can implode. Just the world can implode because it's like a mini me.
Oh God, yeah, that's just. Oh, that would be something.
He's like, no, kid, let me show you. You have to do it. You have to do it like this. You have to move super slow.
You mentioned that Edge should face Roman. That also leaves the prospect of seeing people who could face Edge. Would be
The
like
Usos.
Edge versus Seth Rollins.
Which we got a little glimpse of that too, twice already.
That's gotta be on the mind of Edge, because remember, 2014, Edge was the reason Seth Rollins tried to intimidate Cena to bring back the Authority.
Oh, that's
Edge
another reason.
Probably never forgot about that.
That's another reason why I said Roman too, because Roman threw him out of the Rumble last year.
Oh yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But you see how that would be like, oh God. And not to mention the fact that if Edge wins the Universal title, bring back the freaking World Heavyweight Championship, for Christ's sakes.
It's not gonna happen.
A red Universal title, the blue Universal title. I'm sick of that title. Get rid of it. Bring back the World Heavyweight Championship.
You know, wasn't that technically based off the NWA belt originally or something?
Yeah, they changed it up in NWA to look like the big gold belt that it is. Bringing that back would be freaking awesome. And then you mentioned there's those names. Obviously, I mentioned Seth Rollins. There is history between Edge and Rollins. I don't know about Edge and Bryan, but that's still a pretty cool match. Edge versus Big E would be a pretty cool match. Who else is on SmackDown? I forgot who else is on SmackDown. Oh, Miz versus Edge.
Edge versus Becky. My neck's fine.
That would just
Yeah, don't break your freaking neck on the way out. I was like, oh my.
Yeah, I'm like, oh wow, that would be interesting.
That was so cold. They were still trying to make her a heel character, so they're like, she had to talk shit to Edge, and it's like, oh, that's not nice. But then, lo and behold, he actually ended up coming back. So joke's on you, Becky.
Yeah, but obviously, like I said, the history between Edge and Rollins comes to mind. That would be like, I haven't forgotten what you did to me in 2014. I'm gonna freaking take you out, you son of a bitch, for what you did to me.
Seriously.
I'm trying to. Who else would work? I mentioned Bryan. I mentioned Big E, Miz, or Morrison.
Speaking of Big E too, that's something that they can also revisit with Christian if they ever wanted to, because that was his last match. Is that he qualified for IC title match against Big E in his very last WWE match, but he didn't get to have that. So, and lo and behold, look who's happens to be IC champion again.
Big E.
Right? And guess who just randomly decided to pop up with the freaking Royal Rumble and made me cry and my jaw drop at the same time?
Christian.
I was like,
I heard
Christian!
Like, oh my god. Oh, that's gonna be like, oh, that had to be touching for Edge to see.
and then watching hit like his Edge look at him, I was like, oh my god, this is about to be better than every best friends moment on AEW.
This is better than a hug it out moment between Kane and Held and Brian.
Which they even did in the match too.
This is real, damn it.
They did that in the match too. They had Kane and Daniel Bryan hug.
I heard about that. Like, oh, hell yeah. And then Kane gets
Literally.
eliminated by Damian Priest.
Which was a really good rub too. He looked fantastic in that match. He looked great. I told people he was main roster ready like months ago because he was actually one of the he helped train people down in NXT too, I believe. Because I've heard a couple people like cite him as like somebody who's helped him like with moves and everything like that, which is probably why he's so smooth in the ring for the most part, even though he's tall as shit. But
Yeah,
his tope,
someone, like, I think
his tope always scares me.
he is a pretty badass looking dude,
Mm-hmm.
to say the least. Damian Priest is a dude that I think he can go places.
He reminds me of like
He can
Nightwolf
go places.
from like Mortal Kombat. I don't know why. Reminds me of Nightwolf. And he does have like the Archer of
that would
Infamy
be
thing.
pretty-
So
That would be pretty cool if he had a WrestleMania match. He comes out and looking like Nightwolf.
oh god,
That would be.
Book it, Vince. Book it, Vince.
Who would be facing? Probably Miz or Morrison, but still,
That'd be all right.
Not looking like Nightwolf.
And what if it was like for the Money in the Bank briefcase too? Well, speaking of which, man, what are we gonna do with that thing? What are they gonna do with that thing? They're running out of time
Yeah, that's true.
because they're about to have Money in the Bank in a couple months.
There might be a cash in sometime. I don't know when, but I know there's gonna be a cash in sooner or later. Yeah,
Mania?
You're right. Shortly after Mania would be the Money in the Bank pay-per-view.
Or maybe the Raw after Mania he does it.
Probably that would make sense.
I don't think he'll do it at Mania this time. But our dreams come crashing back down when we come back to Earth on Raw the next night.
The Raw after Mania, yeah, that's gonna be like.
It's like,
boy.
did you enjoy that pay-per-view? All right, we're back to our regular shenanigans. Here you go. Oh, here's a return, by the way.
Yeah.
Here's another return as
Raw
well.
after Mania. It's like Raw after Mania is like a pay-per-view, you know, or SmackDown after Mania, yeah, NXT after Mania. They're all
Yeah.
pay-per-view, you know,
Mhm.
because the fans are at their wildest when stuff like that happens.
Mm-hmm.
The
book.
Who else could he fight if he won? If I were to say he wins the WWE title, it being Drew
good.
or something. I'm trying to think of who. Obviously, Orton, them fighting again would just be like.
I don't want that again. I think we've done enough of that.
We've seen this for months.
Which it was really funny that someone had told me that Edge only had like 3 matches in his contract for this year, and I was like, well, we just got 2 of them.
Yeah.
I did not think he was going to have a match on Raw the next night. That was really awesome.
Yeah,
That was very cool to see him on Raw for the first time in like years like that.
Was it 2011? It might have been 2011 because I knowing that the brand split was over by then, he probably debuted on a Raw before Mania or something. Oh yeah, he did. Well, he did appear on. Did he have a match? I think when was the last time he had a match? Well, I forgot how long Edge's last match on Raw. That was a while back though.
Yeah, dude. It was a while ago. Long time ago.
Yeah, freaking! I was just about to have my first job when the last time he freaking had a match on Raw or SmackDown.
I think I had just gotten fired from my first job around that time.
Oh yeah.
Actually, yeah, it would have been right around that time because it was in like February or March of that year. Yeah, it was like March or April of 2011. So yeah.
Yeah, I was either getting prepared for my very first job,
Yeah.
or I already was working on my first job at that time.
Yeah, I was just getting fired from Chick-fil-A around that time.
Oh wow.
No, it wasn't for having facial hair, by the way. They didn't let me have any there, but
I
Yeah.
I look the way I look.
No, they don't. They don't let
I
let people have facial hair at Chick-fil-A, and they don't let you. They don't let dudes have like their hair past their collar or anything like that. Yeah, I really didn't like that. But it made no sense to me because it's like, okay, so you can have girls with super long hair and earrings in the kitchen, but because I'm a dude, I can't have that. So,
I worked at Home Depot, so I
but that's
can
not
get
why I
away
got
with
fired
that.
though. I got fired
Yeah,
for
I
cussing
can
some
get-
kid
I
out.
can get away with working at a place like Home Depot looking like this, so long as I cleaned up a little bit, because I get rid of the sideburns and stuff. But yeah, I'm trying to think of who getting back off topic. Edge.
So yeah, it's all good.
Who could he face? Names that come to mind: Orton again, Keith Lee,
Daniel Bryan.
Daniel Bryan's on SmackDown.
So.
Oh yeah, there's always the draft. There's always the shakeup and all that. The draft
Yeah.
and all that.
No, I think this is gonna be like Edge's like victory run type of a deal. I don't think we're gonna see him past SummerSlam or Survivor Series. I think at the latest.
I look and see to myself, okay, he all likelihood he could drop the belt at SummerSlam.
Or
Good chance.
or this could happen too. Let's say he takes on, I guess, Roman, I guess, at WrestleMania, loses, but then is entered in the Money in the Bank. He's the most synonymous person with that pay-per-view if you think about it. Besides him and CM Punk.
Actually, there's only
Well, not pay-per-view, but with the briefcase, technically. He actually, when he won it, it wasn't a pay-per-view yet, but
it was just
it was
a match.
it was an opening match for WrestleMania. Oh my god. God, remember when WrestleMania used to start with a 6 to 8 man ladder match?
I don't know why they give
Ooh.
Money in the Bank its own pay-per-view.
Because it's a great concept. It's a great match. In fact, that's probably one of the that's like the only gimmick pay-per-view I like thoroughly enjoy besides Royal Rumble. Like that's almost another Big Four pay-per-view in on its own. It really is. It really is.
Yeah, it's like everybody. You get it as an exciting pay-per-view and stuff like that. But everybody at that point tunes out of it after Mania because, they've lived their highs and all that stuff.
Mhm.
It's like you're all on a downturn after basically the Raw, SmackDown, and NXT's after Mania. But after that, people just don't watch it after that.
Yep, you have like a little spike for Money in the Bank. You have a little spike for SummerSlam. Sometimes Extreme Rules, depending on what's going on, because Brock seems to have a very good luck around Extreme Rules time for some reason. So that's always a thing for some odd thing, but yeah, and then it kind of perks back up for SummerSlam because they really try to push that as the second WrestleMania. It's not, but
yeah, it's not.
It's not.
It's
If anything, the Royal Rumble is. They were already doing that in baseball stadiums, before COVID shut everything down, which was such a very nice, like, visual aesthetic, and a cool change up. Obviously, they hadn't completely nailed down how they were filming entrances still in the baseball stadiums, but I remember they screwed up, I believe, Edge's return and one of Finn's entrances, I believe, at the baseball stadiums. I want to say, or something like that. Yeah, because Finn had his match against Brock last year at the Royal Rumble, I believe, right?
No, but last year Brock was in the Rumble match.
Or 2019. I'm sorry, 2019.
Yeah. Finn was in the Edge's. I think when it came to Edge's entrances, since he's come back, none of them have been fucked up. Just that moment when he came back last year, that in and of itself, we ain't gonna give a fuck if his entrance was fucked up.
Yeah, no, we didn't care. Granted, there was some rumor going around at the time that where, like, if you were paying attention, you almost, like, you didn't expect it, but you weren't completely, like, blindsided by it. You're like, oh, so we actually did come back. That's great. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just a rumor. Yeah. Because that was my reaction too. I was like, oh, yes, he actually did come back. Yes. That was great. But the Christian thing, I had no idea.
Because when he speared Elias at SummerSlam 2019, I was like,
oh, yeah.
Wait, what?
His little ninja run.
Spear on Elias?
A little ninja run.
Don't tell me he's coming back. And then seeing him come back at Rumble, I'm like, I fucking knew it. He came back.
Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome, dude.
Hell
but yeah,
awesome to see that happening.
So
I
did you
knew that was just, you know, he was doing that just to do it and stuff like that. I was like, oh, this was leading to something. I freaking knew he was coming back.
Mhm.
I was
So
like, yes.
I guess we can just like finish breaking down the pay-per-view or whatever if you want.
Yeah, obviously, Royal Rumble.
Mhm.
Well, obviously, again, what do you?
What did it
what are
open
your
it up
thoughts?
with? I don't remember. It was Sasha, I think, opened it up.
Yeah, oh yeah, so I believe was it Sasha? No, it was Drew versus Goldberg.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Drew versus Goldberg. Drew won, obviously.
Hmm.
I was kind of like, whew, thank God.
Yeah, it was like a definitely a moment because they could have done the thing they did last year and they just had Goldberg just randomly beat the Fiend for no fucking reason.
But
To be fair, I still stand
like,
by. I still stand by that. The Fiend should have never even had a belt.
My good graces, at least.
Yeah.
Goldberg is back in my good graces after what he did last year to the Fiend. That was just like. But then again, the Fiend bounced back and beat John Cena. I mean, for Christ's sake.
Which was hilarious.
Yeah,
That's still one of the best
Fiend
matches.
Fiend was fine.
For no reason.
I knew that. But yeah, I'm kind of was like, I'm glad.
I think we're all still really hoping for one of those too at whatchamacall at WrestleMania this year. I think we're all hoping for the one between him and Randy Orton. Because I think they really want to redeem their House of Horrors match thing. And yeah.
Firefly Funhouse, maybe.
Yeah. No, I would love to see another one. The one with John Cena was so good, and there's so many things you could pull from Randy's career, dude. Oh my God. He's even more controversial. Are you kidding me? But that's the thing is like how much is Randy going to be willing to be to laugh at himself? You know what I'm saying? John Cena's definitely more of that kind of a character. Randy's a little bit more stern and serious, but I think he would do it though. I think he'd do it.
Some of his gimmicks and think to myself, well, what's his most? If I were to say his most laughable one, him when he was in Evolution, maybe, but he really was not that funny. That wasn't that much funny, or something like that. If I were to think, okay, let me think of some of his gimmicks. When he first debuted, maybe. Evolution, no. Youngest world champion, no. His feud with Taker really wasn't that funny. He's always been more of a serious character and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's never really. He's had moments where it was like funny and stuff, but never was he goofy or something like that, like a John Cena or something like that. His career is much more serious. Like he takes everything really serious and stuff like that. So it's hard to even try and do something like that. Whereas you take a guy like, let's say, Taker. Taker's had there might be some. It would be pretty cool or some funny moments here and there or something like that. Like maybe. Oh, that would be interesting. Bringing up if there was a match between Fiend and Taker in a Firefly Funhouse match. Bringing up some of Taker's old gimmicks before WWE, Mean Mark Callis, Master of Pain, Texas Red. There is some stuff there.
Booger Rit.
Yeah, with Taker there is some, but Randy isn't so much as a gimmick, as not as much of a gimmick as Cena or Taker. Even in Taker's youth when he was starting, there really wasn't any. There's nothing serious about him or about Randy. So maybe it might this one might just be a serious match or just a regular match.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. So if Edge challenges Roman, who should challenge Drew?
That's a good question.
Because I think they're going to run through. I think they're going to do Sheamus first.
In NXT, you think to yourself, "Oh, there could be some people." If we see Finn winning that, if Finn retains, there's some people there that I think to myself that they could end up pushing. A Kyle O'Reilly, a Dexter Lumis, a Karrion Kross, obviously.
Man, I think they're going to put the belt back on him.
End up pushing and all that stuff down there. On Raw, the only names that I could see myself potentially as a threat to Drew's title reign, Randy Orton, obviously, the Fiend, and Keith Lee. Those, Damian Priest, but he's not at Drew's level. He'd just be a guy like in between in Drew's reign, like, oh yeah, I'll beat him.
Well, they're probably gonna have have him face Sheamus before WrestleMania. I imagine is what it looks like. You know, they're probably gonna decide it. They might decide it in the Elimination Chamber. Sometimes they have title defenses in there, but sometimes they'll just be like, all right, whoever wins faces the champion at WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it just depends. And looking at some of those people on the card for Raw, it's really a hit or miss. Who can you put in there? Bobby Lashley, obviously.
That's kind of the first person I thought of, but he's still got the U.S. belt, so you would have to take that off of him and have him somehow be strong enough to challenge the world champion within the next 2 months after losing a belt.
I'm sure I can hold 2 belts. It's possible. I mean, for Christ's sakes, if we look at someone else who wasn't a United States champion, Goldberg won the World Heavyweight Championship against Hollywood Hulk Hogan, and he was still the United States champion.
That's true. That's true. They were trying to hold his streak intact as well, but
yeah, I don't see any harm in Bobby holding both.
Yeah, but
so long as he's like, oh, it could be an open challenge and someone gets a fluke win over him.
I think they took too long to like. I think they really should have put Bobby in a way higher spot when he first came back. Because like when we first heard that he was going to come back, everyone's immediately like, put him versus Brock, put him versus Brock, put him versus Brock. Didn't get that one time. Not even a look. They didn't look at each other. I don't even think they've even been in the same ring since he's been back.
Yeah.
And now he's teamed with his buddy Shelton Benjamin.
Not to mention, I look at the whole match between him and Riddle for the U.S. title and how freaking MVP was trying to be like his Paul Heyman. I'm thinking to myself,
yeah,
they might do the match if they give Brock enough money. They might do the match. Sure, Brock's never challenged for a secondary title before in his career. It would be
he did it ever?
Very interesting to see the match itself. Like finally, we're getting Brock versus Bobby, but at the cost of the United States title. I'm here like, so you're basically gonna give him a part-timer, a minor title. He's like, fuck that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't do all of that. That's not do the thing. That's doing the honky tonk thing almost.
Yeah, but
which if you're gonna do that, you already have Elias. So
yeah, if we're looking at a chamber match or something like that, yeah, Bobby Lashley comes to mind. Keith Lee, like I said, Randy Orton, The Fiend. If he, it's all in likelihood Fiend might come back for WrestleMania, so he might be out of a chamber match. Who else is on Raw?
Yeah, they already.
Oh yeah.
Hey.
Put Miz and Morrison in there. You could put Miz and Morrison in there because you could fill that up. And then I think a 6th person. I'm trying to think who else comes to mind. Throw in Sheamus if he doesn't successfully beat Drew. Or
I hope they don't. I hope they don't try to drag that into Mania. That kind of just needs to be a 1 and done, or a 2 and done, or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or, well, no, he's still on SmackDown. All these other people I would think that would be good challenges for him are on freaking SmackDown. I'm thinking, maybe Cesaro, but nope, he's on SmackDown.
Comes down to
Shinsuke. Oh, nope, he's on SmackDown.
It comes down to the Superstar Shakeup,
which is usually pretty shortly afterward, right? But are they even going to do that anymore now that they brought the draft back?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the draft. Yeah, that's what the draft. It all comes down to the draft of who they can bring over and seeing potential dream matches.
And they've been doing the draft like a month before Survivor Series the past 2 years. So only because, well, I think mostly because of the when SmackDown went to Fox. So they did a draft right before that happened, basically, or right after that happened. So I think they just wanted to keep it in the same time frame. But it's just like, it's so weird to have the brand supremacy thing when these people have only been on these brands for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think it's better you move it back to, 2 weeks after Mania. Bring the draft, bring it back up to the time of Mania and stuff. Makes more sense.
Yeah, because you're trying to change the whole makeup of like the show usually after Mania. You know what I'm saying? That's usually the reset. Even though I feel like Royal Rumble has been more of like a soft reset for the past forever. So because when the Royal Rumble happens, you can like not like the order of appearance like matters like in the Rumble, but you can see like who gets to shine. Like you can tell who's actually high up in the pecking order when you watch the Royal Rumble. You can just tell.
Yeah, you can tell when it comes to that. You know who you think your best bets, basically. You can rely on a Charlotte, a Rhea Ripley, a Bianca Belair, and
Mhm.
all that stuff. Trying to remember. It's all okay. Let's get into the Bianca Belair one. Obviously, we think, oh, it's gonna be her versus Sasha, but then you look at some of those. Who would be her other options?
Hold on, give me a second. I think my cat just like shat on the floor. Hold on.
Fair enough.
Cat, are you serious? That's gross.
Oh wow.
Like for real? What the hell? What the hell is her deal?
Apologies for this, people, but sometimes we have technical difficulties and stuff.
Hey, that's really strange.
He's back. Okay.
That was gross.
Basically, when it comes to I think when it comes to Bianca Belair, I instantly think, oh, she's gonna challenge Sasha. She's gonna challenge Sasha.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Sasha Banks for the title.
Mm-hmm.
But it made me think, okay, you looking at her, she has history with Io Shirai before.
I was about to say, I was like, man, but if she went to go back to challenge the NXT belt, because she never got to win that belt. You know what I'm saying? Like, but nah, she's on SmackDown now. Let's keep her up there. She's obviously a huge star in the making already. There's no need for her to go back down to NXT right now. So have her challenge Sasha, have her beat Sasha. That'll be fine, but it's not. I don't think it would be as. I don't. For some odd reason, like even though I like Asuka more, it wouldn't feel as big for some odd reason. Yeah, I don't know why. Even though Asuka's actually held the belt longer too, kind of. But
yeah, Sasha's held the title for a while too. She's won it at Hell in a Cell or something like that, and beat Bayley. I think it makes all the more likelihood of her challenging Bayley for the title. Not Bayley, Sasha Banks for the title.
Mm-hmm. Especially if she wins this feud with Bayley.
Get to challenge Bianca though, because I look at that up and down the SmackDown roster. Yes, Bayley comes to mind.
Carmella. I mean, you just revisit everybody you just did with Sasha and Bayley the past year and a half. You know what I'm saying? Put Nikki Cross against her. You can put, friggin' Naomi.
No, wait. Oh, no, wait. I think Nikki
Talia.
Cross is on Raw. Nikki Cross is on
Raw.
Raw.
Yeah. They flip-flopped her a couple times last year, so.
I think obviously Carmella. Maybe both members of the Riot Squad, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah, you do that too.
And I think to myself, who could be the one that could, if we see Bianca winning the title, who could dethrone her, though? That's maybe Bayley or something like that.
Well, honestly, that probably should be something that we shouldn't even start thinking about for at least 6 to 8 months. To be honest, we should probably just give her the same run we just gave Drew.
If we were to think that.
Except don't lose it for one night.
Yeah, if we were to think that. Maybe Becky Lynch, a returning Becky Lynch. Unless she's going after the Raw title, then that would make... Because she relinquished that belt. She never...
Yeah, but SmackDown's kind of the hotter show. Her husband's on that show.
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. Granted, I know all the shows are in the same place right now, but...
Someone who would be the one that could dethrone her, it would have to be someone who is big. So basically, in all honesty, they might just put the SmackDown Women's title on Becky.
What they could do, they could have, or you could also, this is also how you can almost do the exact same thing you did with Bianca, but do it again next year with Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's that's what I'm saying. Like the people that could beat Bianca, you know, you could have Becky maybe or Charlotte because Charlotte always wins anyway. But they've already had a little bit of history, and that's why I also said Rhea because she's kind of involved in that because it was almost man they could have almost made that a 3-way at WrestleMania for real between the three of them. Bianca's like, you don't even go here.
Yeah,
That was great.
at that point, it's either at some point during that, I would think Bianca would have to would turn heel at some point during that in order for her to drop the belt.
Which would be fine because I mean she came up as a heel, so and so did Rhea Ripley. So I think that'd be really good.
I think, and not really. Rhea in some cases, but yeah. But then I look at myself. If we're looking at main roster, she came up as a babyface because she.
But Rhea was only a heel in NXT UK. By the time she went over to regular NXT, she was treated as a babyface immediately. So she hasn't been a heel character since she left NXT UK. However, I watched that show and she was a great freaking heel on NXT UK. I remember when she was in the Mae Young Classic or whatever, she was the one who wrestled Tegan Knox, I believe. And she got hurt in that match or whatever. And I actually think Tegan was supposed to win it. But so they had Rhea beat it was like her was it, I don't remember what it was. But yeah, Rhea Ripley had beaten Tegan Knox and she had injured her. Like she got injured in that match and she straight pointed and laughed at her in the middle of the match or whatever after it happened because she had to get like vacated out, but she was playing heel. She was like, ha ha ha, you're hurt. You can't wrestle. Dream killed.
Then, like you said, she comes to the mainline NXT and she's freaking boom, it gets over on freaking Shayna of all people.
Yeah. Hey, none of that.
Yeah. I think that. Yeah. Those are the ones I think could end up beat Bianca if Bianca wins the title. Charlotte, Becky, Rhea.
Yeah.
Or hell, if she's called up, Io Shirai.
That would be awesome too. That would be super awesome too. Or if another Japanese star comes back and Kairi Sane.
Yeah, no.
Probably won't happen ever again, but she might do like a one-off.
If there was another Japanese person, maybe Xia Li. But I don't think she'd be. She's just
which I desperately need another Evolution pay-per-view. By the way, I still feel slighted. I want another Evolution pay-per-view, especially since they had the audacity to say first annual. You know what annual means, right?
Yeah.
Like, geez, it's been 3 years now.
Right. Obviously, let's get away from the Royal Rumble. What else have we missed?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't been watching too much AEW lately, but I do know that Kenta showed up. Formerly Hideo Itami showed up and on AEW TV and beat up John Moxley because he also just did the same thing recently to him on New Japan TV. So yeah, so they're basically trying to promote that match that they're gonna be having at I believe a New Japan pay-per-view coming up soon. Where it's gonna be for the US title, I believe. And now that John's not the world champion AEW anymore, he gonna lose, boy.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
I think he can lose.
Shit. The forbidden door is open.
I think he gonna lose straight up. No, I like what All Elite's doing, man. They're doing literally what they like. They're bringing in the best from each company, like right now, in a weird way, to like for these little all-star things and for these little mismatch of like inter-cross promotion blah thing.
Yeah,
so
it's really cool. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, NWA, Impact over there now New Japan as well.
Yeah,
there's technically always MLW ties anyway, but
yeah, I've been kind of following along with that stuff a little bit, but I'm not really that big.
I was watching Power when that was on.
So that is the interview queen, but that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
I barely follow that show anyway.
I haven't been a lot lately, but I still enjoyed it for the most part.
Okay, let me think. What about Impact? Well, Su Yung became a Susan.
Su Yung.
I'm not a fan of that gimmick.
It's all right.
I don't like that gimmick at all. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Really, only thing going over there, obviously the Good Brothers are
Mhm.
still the tag champs, but now apparently the Private Party is the number one contenders for that title.
Yeah, that was weird. That was really weird how that whole thing went down. And the fact that like I mean I liked what they did, like, but it's so weird to see that when like they've struggled so like they've been kind of struggling lately as far as their opportunities on AEW as a tag team. And then all of a sudden they come in, Impact, earn a freaking championship opportunity right away. Okay.
Yeah.
Like that's interesting.
Like,
I get it, but I mean, it helped to put them over. That's for sure, and they're pretty good. But
look who they put their knockouts title on, a WWE reject in Deonna Purrazzo. Which I can't deny, she is hot, but
she's the witch. And they also just fired her husband or her boyfriend recently, as
Steve
of
Cutler,
like 2 days ago. Yeah, Steve Cutler. That's crazy, and just because he had the COVID.
Not to mention Lars is not there, and Lars isn't there in WWE.
2 days after that, 2 days after they silently filed Lars.
Reason he was like he's done with pro wrestling. He's like he couldn't take it. I feel kind of sorry for Lars.
It wasn't meant for you to begin with, bruh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What else has happened? What getting back to WWE TLC? Was that the pay-per-view we missed in December or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember most of the matches. I know Asuka and Charlotte won the tag titles that night, and obviously they lost them at Royal Rumble. It was just freaking Charlotte just was like, "Oh, I want to win this. Okay, fine. Yeah, you can have them back. I just wanted to win them."
I know what they're trying to. They're trying to actually make her a babyface right now. Is weird.
Yeah, her being a babyface is just super weird.
But I actually do feel bad for her right now. I'm not gonna lie. The whole Rick thing's dumb. But man, I enjoy Lacey Evans. So
but she's doing all this, and I think Lacey Evans is married and has a child
that we've seen on TV a lot.
Yeah, I'm like, why are they making her a gold digger when she's a mother?
Because she's a hot blonde.
Is she Marine or Army? I forgot.
Yeah, she's a former Marine.
And she's a former Marine and a mother.
Yeah.
What?
Probably doesn't have a single bad characteristic trait in her actual personality, but yeah.
Make her a gold digger and pair her with Ric Flair.
Because she's a hot blonde. But she plays it good, dude. I love her character work. She's great, man.
Like, you're giving a Marine veteran who also happens to be a mother and probably married, make her a gold digger. Why? Yep. It's sometimes I don't get WWE.
I don't even think it's 100% a gold digger thing. I think it's actually a I wouldn't say succubus thing. I think it's her like trying to be I think she's just trying to like bait Charlotte on purpose. Like I think she's literally just doing that just to mess with her. She's not actually like I don't think she has an affiliation for old men.
Yeah, considering the fact she's married and has a child.
Yeah, I'll tell you about that in a minute.
Gold digger thing. I'm just like, why?
She dooted on the floor. The cat. Yeah.
I'm here thinking to myself, why this you could have gotten anybody on Raw. You choose Lacey Evans. Like,
I just cleaned it up. Yeah, I feel you.
Like, okay, so what other matches? Oh yeah, the WWE title was defended in a ladder match. I think was it a ladder match or was it just a TLC?
It was a TLC match, probably.
Yeah, I believe Miz cashed in, but it was Morrison that cashed it in for him, and he got it back.
Man, I don't. That was stupid. Either take it off of him or don't have him unsuccessfully cash in. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't just be all like, give it back to you because I feel bad for you. That's so stupid. I get that they're trying to. No, I don't actually. No, I don't get it. No, I don't get it. I don't get it. I was gonna justify like what they're doing with Adam Pearce, but then it's like, no, wait, no, because sometimes he's an asshole, and then sometimes you feel bad for him. So no, I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, they're just.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell they're doing with that. Raw is,
Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, I'm
Raw is a little eh.
like,
SmackDown's been pretty good, but Raw's been a
yeah,
little eh.
SmackDown's been pretty good. Roman's character, I definitely say I'm starting to hate him more, and he's doing a great job being.
He's fantastic job. He's doing a superb job. He's doing an incredible job. He's doing a very, very good job. And and also hats off to Kevin Owens for being able to keep their feud interesting, like, as well. Because like I'm not a big fan of like prolonged feuds where it's a back and forth. It hasn't even been a back and forth. Kevin Owens has lost every time. But they've still managed to make it entertaining enough, you know what I'm saying? And it's like they've still been able to, catch me. And I actually almost thought Kevin won that match. You know what I'm saying? Like if it wasn't for that the small little screw up, that would have been like a really like that would have been like a 9 out of 10, a 10 out of 10 match because it was really, really well done. A little long, tiny bit, almost too long. But I thought it was great. I had a friend who's kind of he kind of poo-pooed on a little bit because he's not a big spot fest type of a person. I was like, yeah, but like the whole point of it, like in this kind of match kind of calls for that in a weird way. You have to pull out big stuff because this is your feud ender. You know, this is the last man standing.
Stops to make sure they don't get up for the count of 10. So you have it has to be spot fest for a legitimate reason. It doesn't have to be a match where spot.
But what screws it up, unfortunately, is that
finishers and stuff like that. You know, a last man standing match is one of the few exceptions that I think to myself, you had to pull out all the spots to make sure they don't get up for a count of 10.
That, or you have to do something like where you can't keep the guy down, so you have to figure out like another way to actually literally physically keep him down, whether it's a forklift or some handcuffs, which they kind of did both in this match, which was really cool. You almost thought that they were going to do the forklift thing when he brought it out, but instead he just did he just jumped off of it instead. It's like, oh my god, I saw like the little platform thing on top of it and I was like, what the hell is that? It looked like somebody like cut off like a piece of like the the road cases or whatever. It looked like the top of like a road case, and I was like, "What is that thing just sitting there on top of?" That's just such a random thing to like have there. Wouldn't you have want that moved when you do it? But no, what that was, it was grip. I'm pretty sure it was like grip tape, almost like a skateboard or whatever. So like the dude like wouldn't just get up there and trip and fall. He would have grip when he was standing up there. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah.
But I mean, they had some really cool spots in that match. I definitely enjoyed it. They just and Woody freaking got ran over. I was like, oh my god, dude, you just straight ran him over.
Yeah, the golf cart scene. Yeah,
he straight ran through that dude. That looked like that shit hurt. It was way different from the AEW thing. AEW thing that was supposed to be treated as comical, and that clipped Sammy. Dude, he went through that fucking. He went through the freaking thing.
Why don't we do it but better? Freaking A kept just crashed right through it.
Yeah.
Back and all that.
And it was so. I thought it was really funny how a lot of people on the internet were all like, "Oh, WWE's copying AEW." I was like, "Yeah," because Rikishi didn't also do the exact same thing for The Rock, back in '99. But yeah, sorry.
I did it for The Rock.
I did it for The Rock. Which did you see the Yokozuna Icons thing or whatever? That was super cool.
I'm like, oh.
Yeah, Rikishi is featured on that a lot, actually, because that's his his relative.
What do you think of that?
It was good. It was great. I loved it, dude. WWE's so good at documentaries. They're so good at that stuff, dude. They were perfect at that stuff. It's such a shame that they're going to be moving to Peacock, because I don't know how much more of that stuff they're really going to be producing like that.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's going to affect that. Like they had all like these random little side shows, and granted, like, yeah, not a lot of people watched them and stuff, but that was also like a creative outlet for some of the employees that they had there, or some of their legends, to just kind of be able to utilize. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh no, we're not going to do WWE story time anymore. Oh no, that's not a big deal. But like, I enjoy Table for Three. That was always cool. I always liked that show, and like the ride along stuff was always cool too. Obviously, they're not doing any of those right now, but
yeah,
always enjoyed those. I liked the what was it? They upload all their podcasts to that nowadays and stuff too, which I didn't realize how many people that work there actually do have a podcast. Like, Freaking Drew's got one. Stone Cold's got one. The Garganos have one. They have Jillian Garcia's on there. They have
New Day.
I think Bailey has one too. I think.
Yeah, New Day.
New Days, which the New Days one is pretty good too.
WWE affiliated, but
And After the Bell
and Carmella have one together.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude.
That's crazy.
Yeah, which the New Day one's actually really good. I do enjoy that one. Very good.
I've seen a few clips of some of that stuff, especially I think one I remember with freaking Bailey, where she was the #1 and female when it comes to the PWI list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Freaking,
always like when
say, I would make shirts. It'd be in my Twitter bio.
Always like when they bring up Goldberg because Big E's such a big fan of Goldberg. And they're like, "You want to talk about work rate? Nah, I just want a 3.5 little banger, just slopping meat."
Well,
you want to talk about work
all you
rate?
can do with Goldberg is just finisher after finisher and power step.
You guys can have your 5 stars in the Japanese dome and stuff like that. I'm gonna have my I'm gonna have my Big Mac and hork it down in 5 minutes.
Yeah,
I'll get my big juicy steak slider. Now I'm just making stuff up, but yeah. Yeah, every time they talk about Goldberg, that's just always funny too.
Yeah, yeah. What am I trying to think? What else happened? NXT wise, I'm trying to remember.
The finalists for the Dusty Cup.
Oh yeah, I think it's the women's one.
I think we have finalists for all of them now, don't we?
I'm pretty sure it's going to end up being Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart versus Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai.
And I think they're going to win it.
They can't really have heel versus a heel team versus a heel team.
Yeah, I think Dakota Kai and Raquel are going to win it.
Yeah.
Now, do they get a?
I think when it comes to the men's side, it's already a foregone conclusion.
But do they get a tag team title match for winning that?
I would love to see Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus Raquel Gonzalez.
Seriously? No, seriously. Oh shit!
I
forgot.
Love that.
I forgot that Dakota and Shayna have a really big history too. Like a big one. That was actually my person that I wanted to beat Shayna for a while. Was when Dakota Kai came back.
That would be crazy. And give the belts to Raquel and Dakota.
Seriously.
It's about that time you get the team winning it.
Now, on top of that, I think they can do more with that belt on that program. They would do more with it. They already do more with the Cruiserweight belt. You know what I'm saying? And Cruiserweight has its own show.
Jordan Devlin, the true Cruiserweight champion on NXT UK. And then you got freaking
Thank you.
Escobar.
Thank you. He is the true champion, Jordan Devlin. That's right. None of this NXT UK Cruiserweight. No. He the real champ. Legato over there. What's his name? Oh my goodness gracious.
Santos Escobar.
Yeah, Santos Escobar. He's bro. You not my champion.
Yeah.
Not my champion. Although I really do hope that they eventually do get to face each other because that would be really good. And honestly, no, in reality, Santos has actually been doing an incredible job with that belt and with the stable too. It's actually really helped the other two guys.
I'm looking at that and I saw what happened on NXT and I was like,
dude, we almost kind of had a mini.
I'm invested in a Santos Escobar versus Karrion Kross match.
Right? Oh, yeah. I am too. I'm all here for that. But that's the thing is, like, are you going to do that while he still has the belt? Or is he doing that because Jordan just beat Dave Mastiff? And so he's like, all right, I got to beat a big guy because you're going to beat a big guy. I got to beat a big guy now. So, oh my God, if he actually beat Karrion Kross, that'd be the craziest thing in the world. It wouldn't happen. But,
it wouldn't.
But,
yeah, I don't think. They're pushing Kross. They are pushing Kross big time. I think Kross.
Oh yeah, I think he's gonna beat Balor here soon. I think Pete Dunne's gonna lose, unfortunately. And Karrion Kross is going to come for Finn, and he's going to take his head off. And then either Finn goes away for a little bit.
I think Karrion Kross is going to beat. If they do end up having a match, I do think Karrion Kross is going to beat Santos Escobar. It's going to be a wall. It's going to be a cakewalk. He's going to be invested in that.
Well, it shouldn't be a cakewalk though, because he's still a champion. If they're going to do that feud while he's still a champion, he can't just walk over him. You can't. You can't have that. Even if he is a smaller dude, you can't have him just run through him. He's a champion. That's why I was really pissed about.
Well, Ciampa is a small dude, but he's not really small.
And he was on 205 Live. Him and Timothy Thatcher for the. I thought that was crazy. They had the women's match on 205 Live too. I was like, why? Why are we doing this?
Promoting the Dusty Cup, baby.
I know, but like it was such a random. It was weird to put them on that show. Shouldn't you have put that on NXT?
Yeah.
Granted, it probably attracted a slight more attention over to 205 Live. I used to watch that show, but I can't get engaged to it anymore.
Yeah.
It was a good show, and I really feel bad for the people that are on Main Event because apparently they've actually been putting on really good matches down there, supposedly, for like the past 3 or 4 months, but I haven't watched any of them.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they only have like 1 or 2 matches, I think, that they do on Main Event. I have no idea.
Yeah,
I think I watched the episode.
Remembering some stuff and thinking to myself, I really don't watch Main Event because if it ain't on TV, I don't watch.
Then I found out half the show's a recap.
Yeah,
which is dumb. Yeah, they'll like show like a match from like like they'll show like a live match or whatever, a Main Event, and then they'll just have like some random like match from like a pay-per-view from like 5-6 years ago. And it's like what? Or like something weird like that. I don't know. Like the last time I watched Main Event, it was like I watched like a match, and then it was like Roman and Seth, like or whatever. Like from like a pay-per-view, like from like 4 or 5 years ago, and I was like, "What the hell?" I get why it's now. I guess I get why it's called Main Event, but this what? That was really weird. But I did know that Mick Foley used to write for 205 Live, though. I don't know if he still does, but Mick Foley was one of the head writers there.
I'm pretty sure that since it's been moved over to NXT, basically the NXT writers are doing that show now. But
yeah, because
205 Live is in good hands, at least with the NXT people.
It was always a halfway decent show. I just think it never really got enough attention, and also that's also on the fault of how they treated the cruiserweight belt within the main shows. It was always on the pre-show most of the time, almost always, and then it's just like it felt so weird. I thought it was like the move to NXT was good because then because you actually got cruiserweight matches, on NXT and stuff instead of like. When they had 205 Live, shit. I remember when they had 205 Live in the middle of like the show. Sometimes they would like it'd be like 30 minutes within like Raw or SmackDown or something, and then out of nowhere, it's like, oh, the ropes are purple now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like I said, I rarely watch Main Event. I rarely watch 205 Live. I see stuff what happens on 205 Live, but
yeah. Like a really entertaining feud on there was like Akira Tozawa and Brian Kendrick. The stuff that they done together on there was actually all right. Right before Hideo Itami left Kenta or whatever, he was being managed by Arya Daivari, and Arya Daivari was actually doing some pretty decent character work when he was with Hideo because he was basically being his mouthpiece. So he did good with that. Obviously, Neville was always fantastic.
Yeah,
and love him or hate him, but Enzo was very entertaining to people, and I wasn't a huge fan of him, but I didn't realize how over he was until after he was gone, and I talked to other people about it, and I was like, oh well, oh well.
Yeah, he was.
Who's doing the room?
Hey, doing? His mic work is probably one of the best. It's why I remember seeing a video. I think from What Culture, he said basically what he said about Enzo is combine his promo skills with the physique of Big Cass. You got one hell of an opponent for Roman. Basically,
yeah.
You get someone who has that kind of mic skills. Basically, he'd be a big overbuff CM Punk. Basically, that's what he would be like.
It'd be like fighting a jacked up Bill Burr.
Yeah,
But just not
exactly.
Boston,
It's
just
like
Jersey.
it's rare you get a big guy who can do. The only closest one that I can think of when it comes to a big guy that's cut really great promos is probably Big Show.
Samoa Joe.
No, big guys like 7-footer.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, I was like, Samoa Joe is probably the king.
Yeah, no, I think Big Show is probably the closest.
No, Big Show's promos weren't ever too bad. Kane's were weird. Takers are weird. Yeah, that's another thing. Big Show's one of the few big men that actually didn't have to like play some off the wall character. He just played I'm big. Hello.
Yeah, pretty.
Everybody
much.
else kind of has like they're kind of segmented into being a monster or into being like a character. Like even Braun, you know what I'm saying? Even Braun kind of has like the same shtick where he has to act like
I was thinking even
a dumb giant
Braun
monster.
Was kind of a destroyer type of guy, but then again, he's freaking Samoan. He can pull up, being a Samoan destroyer type of
Who?
character. Umaga.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, dude. He was great, man. I miss him.
Yeah,
he was great. Imagine if him and Rosie were still around.
Oh wow, yeah, that would have been. Wait a minute. Umaga is. If he's the uncle of the Usos, what does that make him and Roman? Are they cousins too, or something like that? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a whole big connection. I know
they
Rosie and Roman were brothers.
They're brothers, yeah. And I know, I'm pretty sure Roman's actually. I actually want to say this. Technically, the Usos' like uncle, actually, isn't he? Because I think he's like a generation above them, or like his parents are like Jimmy and Jay's great aunt and uncle, or something like that.
I think one of Roman's fathers is either Alpha or Sika. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But then obviously above them, I think obviously The Rock is Roman's cousin. It's so interconnected. It's such a
yeah, especially because Roman's in Anoa'i, and then the Usos are Fatu.
So now,
so
would Roddy be? Roddy would have to be Roman's older brother, maybe, because they were both Anoa'is.
Anoa'i, yeah. He was
brothers.
Yeah.
Because
him and Yokozuna,
basically.
Yeah, Anoa'i. Yeah, because the Usos, they're Fatus.
I can only imagine if they didn't like give Yokozuna the Japanese sumo gimmick, just let him be the Samoan character he was in the.
They did do that before. They tried that. But they showed that in the documentary too. That he actually originally was booked as just like another big Samoan guy. But when they changed him in Japanese,
pair him with Samoan Fatu, Fatu Rikishi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they paired him with Mr. Fuji.
That's a video I would do. Having a booking of some of the classic, stuff before, like 90s and older stuff. Rebooking Yoko is something I am thinking of been doing for quite a while. Of just bringing him in as freaking just being a Samoan. Pair him with his, the Samoan Fatu, his relatives, his cousins, or whatever.
Oh, he would be the king of the dynasty. He would be the king of the dynasty.
I remember Roman saying he was a title bearer of the family at the time.
Yeah, he was the first world champion too.
Under the Samoan dynasty, have him be. I know that the head shrinkers were managed by either Alpha or Sika. I can't remember who it was, but it was one of them. But just have them be managed by him. One of those.
They're old now.
Samoans. There you go. It makes sense right there.
But they're really old now.
But back then, that would have been really freaking
it would have been cool. But yeah, I think, like I said, I think they like tried something like that before, and then they were just like, all right, I think we need to try something else. Like they kind of covered it in the doc a little bit, how he became the Japanese character and everything. They're like, well, I'm a sumo wrestler.
That would have been fine. You didn't have to use Rodney. He could have just been himself. He could have just been a Kokina. He would have just been,
you could still, you still technically could have just like kept him Samoan, but he can still be a sumo wrestler. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you can be a Samoan sumo wrestler.
Having, if his freaking, some of his tights had some Samoan symbols on it, I would have thought that would have been really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I would have thought that would have been like, okay, we know now he's not freaking Japanese or something. Like, what's those symbols? People would have been like,
Yeah.
what are those symbols on his tights or something like that? They would have
Yeah.
like, oh, this is so he's Samoan. Okay. So he's maybe
Yeah.
part Japanese, part Samoan and stuff like that. So that'd be cool.
Which isn't necessarily the rarest combo either.
Yeah. It isn't a weird combo at all. You know, he could help. You could still do that and you don't have this.
Yeah, no, I'm also a Polynesian Asian person, so no, it's not a rare combo.
He could have been managed by both Mr. Fuji and whichever one of the Wild Samoans, Alpha or Sika it is.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not far off. It's not the weirdest thing to have like a Polynesian Asian person. Like I said, I'm also Polynesian and Asian, so it's not weird.
Yeah, it's not weird at all. You could have just done that.
Yeah, I can do that right now.
I'm trying to remember what else is there.
I'm not Samoan.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who else there is. What else happened? Let me try to think. We covered some of the WWE stuff. We covered the some of the important NXT stuff. AEW.
Yeah.
What has happened since AEW?
All right, so I know Jericho and MJF, I believe, are number one contenders for the tag team belts. I want to say.
Yeah.
I think they're turning Lance Archer into a babyface.
Yeah, they've been doing
which
that.
I'm okay with.
I've been following that. One of the only things that I've really been following with AEW is the stuff with Pac, the Lucha Bros, Moxley, and Archer and stuff like. Those are the only ones I've been following.
Yeah, the Death Triangle. Oh man, Pac is great, dude.
Triangle.
Death Triangle. Yeah, because they can't call them Lucha Brothers apparently anymore. It's more fiasco with Lucha Underground. That's why Penta had to change his name to a Penta El Cero Muerto or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I still call him Pentagon Jr. and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm always gonna call him Pentagon Jr. as well.
And yet they still call him Ray Phoenix.
And yeah, and what's also funnier is that he's not even the original Pentagon's kid either. Same thing with Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio is actually Rey Mysterio Jr., but he's not the original Rey Mysterio's kid. He's actually his grandkid. But or like his great no. I don't or something like that. I don't know. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah,
or like
it's a confusing mess when you think about it.
But I know he's not the actual like Mysterio Jr.
Yeah.
But he basically was given like that mask like to wear or like given like that title to wear. You know, that's been done before and somewhere else too. I can't remember. Somebody else like that. I remember who it was.
Yeah.
Oh, it's another Lucha. It's another Lucha. I want to say the original Sin Cara, I think, was like that. I think he was El Mystico beforehand.
Yeah, he was. He became Sin Cara. Yeah,
And oddly enough, him and the newer Sin Cara, that was a name that they both shared and that they feuded over before outside of WWE. They both were known as El Mystico before in separate places, and they had issues with that before. And then when the original Sin Cara came to WWE, the newer Sin Cara, I think he was still operating as Hunico, with Kamachi or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
With the little lowrider bike, and he became Sin Cara Negro, I think was his name, or Sin Cara Azul.
Yeah,
I believe.
Sin Cara Negro.
Yeah, Sin Cara Negro and Sin Cara Azul was basically like the two. They feuded back and forth, and then the original Sin Cara went bye-bye. And then they kept it Hunico as Sin Cara, and he just stayed Sin Cara for the rest of it. And they tried to turn him like into a heel Sin Cara, and it lasted for like a month, and then he got hurt. But every time you see a promo photo of Sin Cara, it's him in the evil Sin Cara mask, but he never comes out in that mask, ever.
Yeah.
He's still wearing the other one. And it's like, what the hell? I don't even know didn't he get fired too?
I think he might have. I can't remember. I haven't seen him on WWE.
I think he did. I think he did get let go a little while ago.
Yeah, I think so. But
Which he was one of the few legitimate hardmen.
Getting back on the AEW side, what were some stuff that were some important? I know didn't Pac come back after we did the last episode?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he came. Yeah, he came back.
And what's funny is he actually hasn't done that much. He's been back.
Yeah.
He wasn't on every episode, I don't think. The Brody Lee thing kind of held it up slightly, but only a week. I don't want to say held it up or anything like that. If anything, I felt like the Brody Lee episode kind of helped transition some people a little bit, because that's when we started seeing Lance Archer like doing more babyface stuff was that pay-per-view. Or not pay-per-view, but that show.
Yeah, I know he was starting to become more of a babyface when he was going to help the Death Triangle and all that stuff. He was coming out and stuff, and he was dealing with,
Eddie Kingston.
Butcher and Blade, Bunny, and then Kingston. Eddie Kingston.
Yeah. I enjoy Eddie Kingston, man. I really do. I really enjoy him. He just makes everything believable, and and he can take losses really well for some odd reason. Like he's just like, when he's there, like the match is probably going to be good.
Yeah.
And he's not even like a super technical style wrestler. He's actually more of like a brawler, but even still, he's just so believable in his promos.
Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to think what else happened to AEW. Yeah, Paul came back. Kenny Omega became the champion.
Yeah. Yeah, he's been doing the thing with Impact and Don Callis. I'm not super crazy about it. It's all right. And I think he's still the AAA champion, by the way.
Oh, he's still? Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Damn,
I think he's still a AAA champion.
He's a triple champion at this point.
Is he?
I think if he is still the AAA champion, then holy crap, he's a triple champion.
No, but I'm saying like a AAA champion, AEW world champion. Is he holding another belt? That's why I was saying. I was like, is he actually a triple champion?
No, wait, he is a double champion. Yeah, he hasn't won a third title yet.
Yeah, he's the double champ. But I guess technically John Moxley was a double champ the whole time too.
Yeah,
he was the U.S.
champ, and
he was the U.S. title the entire time. He's been in AEW. He's had that belt the entire time, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. And he's defended it twice, I think. That's because of COVID, though.
Yeah, I can't blame him. COVID is the reason.
Yeah, and he's had it now too. Him and his wife have had it, and they're expecting their baby.
Yep.
They're expecting their baby. Whoa, which I think she's back on WWE Backstage, isn't she?
Yeah, I think they did a Rumble preview for her.
Yeah, that show is back now, I guess. Which is, I think it's sweet.
I think it might have just been a one-off.
Maybe, but I wouldn't mind just the show coming back anyway, because I really, really enjoyed that show, even though no one really watched it. But Renee is awesome. Samoa Joe is always awesome. CM Punk's always awesome. So
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I love the little games things that they did with them too on that show. Oh yeah, I guess Paige is awesome too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a Paige hater. I like Paige a lot, but nope, I'm not gonna elaborate more.
She's
I like Paige.
She's
I like Paige. I don't want to speak I don't want to say the thing that I don't like about her.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, don't worry about it. You don't have to.
Because it actually has nothing to do with her. So.
Yeah. Yeah. But is there anything else we can think of? We might just end it. I mean, it's well over an hour and a half.
All right. Well, we've gone for about a month, so I don't mind. But
I'm trying to remember what else.
So we pretty much covered the Rumble. I'm pretty sure Bianca's probably gonna face Sasha. I'm pretty sure Edge is probably gonna face Roman and lose. And he better freaking lose.
I don't want Edge losing.
I don't want to see Edge lose.
I want to see Edge win and bring back the World Heavyweight Championship.
Oh, I don't know why people keep saying that. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
If he does win, I'd love to see that Rated R championship.
They could do something like that, but that was the other belt, though. That was the WWE belt, though.
Yeah, you look at it could, but you know he wasn't gonna have it for long. So they're like, yeah you can't. You're gonna lose it at Unforgiven, so give you more of a lazy design. But I think if it's a more lengthier run, maybe this is the appropriate time to use it.
I don't think he's gonna win. I don't think it's yeah, but which would be really weird because when was the last time somebody won the Royal Rumble and didn't win? Roman, actually. against Brock about 3 or 4 years ago.
2016.
Like
Well,
2017
2017.
or 2018. I can't remember which one it
No,
was.
2018. Yeah, Shinsuke won, but didn't win the title.
Oh, yeah, no, Shinsuke as well.
Seth won the Rumble and title. Drew won last year and the title.
No, you're right. So Shinsuke was the more recent one. Before that, it was Roman, because Roman lost to Brock.
Well,
But yeah.
I should say Brock. He lost it. He got pinned by Rollins.
No. Remember the WrestleMania, what was it, 34? I think? That was when it was Roman versus Brock.
Roman didn't win the Rumble. Roman won in 2015, but he lost at 31. That was the high.
No, you're right. That's the year that Shinsuke won.
Yeah.
But no, when Roman faced Brock though. But when Roman faced Brock, that was when AJ faced Shinsuke, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, because we didn't have anybody that we wanted to win that year. Except for nobody. Nobody won that year that we wanted to win besides Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle. That was it. Charlotte beat freaking Asuka.
Daniel Bryan won. He came back.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, he faced Shane McMahon, right?
No, he
teamed
with to face Owens and Zayn.
Yeah, which is alright. Yeah, so that was a good match too. That was a fan service that we got. But no, Shinsuke freaking lost and turned heel for no reason. And then they feuded for another 5 months for no reason. And he never won for no reason. And then you had and then freaking Charlotte beat Asuka's winning streak. No reason. Like no reason. Still don't even get why that happened. And that was probably the match of the night in my opinion. But besides the Ronda one.
Taker buried Cena though.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That wasn't really a match.
On Cena's face.
I forgot about it. Yeah, well, but he also was kind of looking a little inebriated too. He was supposed to appear as a fan, so he was drinking beers. So, although Austin can do it all day, but
yeah, and still, Austin can do that all day and still win a match.
Yeah, but I mean, look at John Cena. It doesn't look like the guy who probably does it in excess like that. I mean, shoot, did you ever watch that first episode of Total Divas where it's like the John Cena going over the house rules?
Ugh, no,
he has John Cena house rules. You never heard of that?
Crap. I do not watch that crap.
Oh no, it's all right. Ms. and Mrs. is great, actually. That's a very good TV show. It's very entertaining.
I don't watch anything that those stupid soaps. As much as I would, Ms. and Mrs. is the only one I would think of, but any other of those others, no.
Yeah. Total Divas is okay. Total Divas is okay. And you didn't have to feel guilty.
With an absolute passion.
That you didn't have to feel guilty about checking them out. Because that's what it was there for. It was for them to look hot. So you're like, yay, I can feel good about looking at hot wrestlers again. Yay.
Yeah, again, I'm like, and then I was the only one that was more freaking outside the Bellas. Freaking that show, it was a dumpster fire. Freaking.
And Rusev was great on that show for no reason too.
That redheaded bitch, Eva Marie, for Christ's sakes.
Oh yeah, everyone thought she was gonna come back too, but nope, we got Victoria and freaking and Jillian Hall.
I would be up for an Eva Marie return. I've seen what she looks like. She looks pretty good.
Yeah, but
I think I'm gonna have to end this show. Any final words before we end this?
Let me see. Go check out my band Babylon Rising's new single. We just released the cover of Separate Ways by Journey a couple weeks ago, so you can check that out on Spotify, Rhapsody, Apple Music, YouTube, all that fun stuff. So
yeah. Okay, well, on that bombshell, after over an hour and a half, we will hopefully see you whenever we can. So until then, we will see y'all later.
Extreme.